I have a farming sim fatigue. I had every intention of avoiding the new Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar remake that just came out. However, something drew me in, and somehow I have lost 50 hours of my life to this diabolical little game. I remember seeing the DS version of Grand Bazaar and even some of the more modern Story of Seasons games and never really being interested. The art style, the gameplay, the characters, none of it looked very appealing to me. So I was coming into Grand Bazaar as a complete Story of Seasons Harvest Moon virgin. I wanted to share my thoughts for anyone out there like me who maybe hasn't ever played a Story of Seasons game, who hasn't played the original Harvest Moon, and who isn't sure if this game is for them. Let's talk about what I love about Grand Bazaar first. The plot of the game is pretty much what you would expect from any farming sim. You are the new farmer in town, recruited to help restore Zephyrtown to its former glory by improving the status of its weekly bazaar, increasing sales, and bringing in new vendors with the help of the absolutely unhinged Mayor Felix. There's also all the usual ingredients of a good farming sim. You know the tropes. You grow crops, you raise animals, you forage, you fish, you craft, you cook, and you build relationships with the various townspeople and visitors. And you can also get married and start a family. One thing that I think sets Grand Bazaar apart from other farming sims are the graphics. There are so many ugly farming sims out there, and a lot of them seem to use kind of the same 3D Play-Doh looking character design. I'm also really tired of pixel art, so it was nice to see some really beautiful art design in a farming sim. The camera is smooth. It did not cause me any motion sickness, which the older I get, the more important of a consideration that is. There are 4 distinct seasons in the game. Each of them has a beautiful look to them. Nighttime, sunny days, rain days, they all have very cozy, unique appearances. Walking around at night in the rain in the mountains in this game, it's so atmospheric and just really immersive, which is funny to say for a kind of cartoony style game like this. Character designs and their illustrated portraits are also really nice. Animations look good. Everything is just very appealing to the eye. The game is mostly voice acted, which is uncommon for a farming sim, and there's lots of nice calming music that didn't get too repetitive or annoying. Another thing that sets Grand Bazaar apart from other farming sims is the weather system. It's a lot of fun, and it's more than just aesthetic. Storms can have devastating effects on your farm. Wind speed affects the function of your glider and the speed of production in your windmills. Weather isn't just there to be cute, it's an important factor in this game. There are a large variety of NPCs in this game. Most of them have a friendship mechanic and some are romanceable. New characters get introduced as the story progresses, which adds a fun dimension to the game to keep you playing. Some start their own stands at the bazaar, allowing you to purchase upgrades and items that help with story progression. Relationship dialogue is well written, and I think the interactions feel worthwhile. The most unique part of the game, referenced in the title of course, is the bazaar mechanic. To sum it up, every Saturday you head to the bazaar, set up your storefront, and sell your wares. Now, I thought this was going to be tedious and boring, but it is actually so much fun, and I found myself looking forward to it every week. I was living for the bazaar days. Now, other store simulator games are typically very surface level. A lot of them feel like busy work, but the bazaar is fun. Once you get a hang of using a few little strategies, it becomes very addictive very quickly to see how much money you can rank up and what bonuses you can get. There is a lot at play on Bazaar Day. Another thing I appreciate about Grand Bazaar is that there's only one type of crafting station. You don't need multiple different stations for different classes of items. There are a ridiculous number of items to craft and so many recipes. I would imagine 100%ing all of the craftables and recipes in this game would take you forever. One thing I really love about Grand Bazaar is that it's fun for a variety of different playstyles. In games like this, I tend to take a more relaxed approach, even if it is inefficient at times. If you're someone who likes to min-max and optimize, you can definitely do that in this game as well. Both styles of play advance the story. Obviously, if you're playing with the more casual, relaxed style, it's going to take you longer to move things along, but both ways are fun. If you are new to Story of Seasons, this game might feel a little overwhelming in the very beginning. Days go fast, the hours go fast, your inventory is small, your storage is small. You are given a lot for free in the early games, so people who are Story of Seasons farming sim experts might find the start a little slow. I would say the first 2 seasons of this game were rough. I was ready to abandon it, but by autumn, things are revealed and unlocked, and the layers are peeled back. And so many of my early gripes and complaints were addressed in ways that were so smooth and clever. There are a lot of games out there, especially games marketed as the cozy type games, that really have you doing a lot of pointless busy work for no reason. That is not the case in this game. Even things like fishing or giving your pets treats and playing a cute little mini game have implications on the progression of your story. It's easy to make a lot of money early game. Even with your first few bazaar days, you will hit 6 figures quickly. But you can't buy your way out of all the challenges, and a lot of progression in this game relies on other mechanics other than simply earning money. You have to do some collecting, crafting, level up your tools, relationship building, animal care, exploration, master that jumping to get to other areas. You have to work with the forest sprites, you have to manage your inventory and resources, and you have to come prepared to the festivals. Movement in this game, more specifically the jumping and gliding, are so much fun. You can unlock additional movement abilities as the game progresses, and you can do a lot of fun things like harvesting and working your fields with the jump, ground pound mechanic. You can also make use of these springy barrels that are all around the town to bounce yourself to areas that you can't reach on foot. Your character is also eventually gifted a glider. This is affected by wind speed, climbing mountains, parkouring on rooftops, harvesting turnips with a big stomp. All of it was very entertaining and very satisfying. 2 points that I like about this game are very simple. It is not early access and it's not full of bugs. Every farming game these days seems to be one of the two or maybe both, and I have limited time to game these days. I'm done with early access, so I have no patience for any of that anymore. It is so refreshing to buy something and it's just complete and it works. So, as much as I love Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, it is not a perfect game, and there are a few things that I didn't really love about the game. Probably my biggest gripe with Grand Bazaar, and that is the inability to craft or cook from storage. I like a challenge in my games, don't get me wrong, but this just feels more like tedium and kind of unnecessary. We should be able to craft from storage. The other thing I will say, and I can't speak on keyboard and mouse because I'm team controller for life, but the controls and positioning in this game are not always intuitive and they can be very frustrating at times, especially selecting tools and items, and in the animal care portion of the game, trying to line yourself up to pet or brush your animals. And the Bazaar minigame, in my opinion, should have been more of a grid setup. I think left, right, up, down with the D-pad, maybe snap to grid rather than the finicky way the stand slots and the customer requests are placed currently. I also feel like there are a lot of unnecessary pop-ups and animations in this game. They really slow things down, like when your character is running low on stamina, they do this dramatic animation that you need to sit through every time. If you want to talk to an NPC with an active quest that you haven't yet completed, you need to click through a bunch of prompts every single time. I also really wish our character didn't do the little jump display what they crafted. This is in so many games. It drives me crazy every time and it wastes so much time. The next point makes me a little sad because he's so cute, but the horse in this game sucks. Training him sucks, riding him sucks, everything about him sucks. The fishing minigame in Grand Bazaar is pretty boring. At least it feels purposeful later on when you start to fish up things other than fish, but the game itself isn't that exciting or interesting. Inventory and stamina management, as I mentioned in early game, is pretty brutal. If you have low frustration tolerance or you just want something super stress-free, you probably won't find that in early game. The next point's not really a criticism as much as it is my personal preference, but I'm putting it out there because there's gotta be some people who agree. I wish there were some older looking romanceable NPCs. Don't get me wrong, the romanceable NPCs in this game are lovely. They just all kind of look like children. I think it would have been nice to seduce maybe Eric or the guy who runs the recycling stand, perhaps. Maybe even the mayor, you know he's wild. I mean, I definitely have a type, and they never seem to be romanceable. I can't be the only one, right? Other than that, I absolutely love this game. It is one of the most addictive games I've played this year, maybe second only to Fantasy Life I am floored by how addictive it is, how satisfying the gameplay loop is, and how much there is to do. It's the perfect balance of fun and a little bit of challenge. Sure, it could use a couple of quality of life tweaks, but it wasn't anything that prevented me from enjoying this game. This is a really well thought out, polished, complete farming sim. The way it's revealed to you in gradual layers is a lot of fun and keeps you playing for just one more day. I have up until now avoided all the previous Story of Seasons games, but I'm glad I gave this one a chance. If you like farming sims, life sims, cozy games, you want something that you can really dig into and get wrapped up into, I would definitely recommend Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. If you're someone who's played the previous Story of Seasons games, I would assume you're going to love this too. But if you're a newcomer like me, there's a lot to enjoy in this game.